Do you know what time it is? I hope you got the pun. Well, I know you're back for day 2 and you want something exciting. So what in the world? Oh wait, day 1's winner is down below. So what in the world can we cook up for you today? Well, Uncle Robbie has... we're just going to call this the 12 days like gem deck box giveaways. No, there will be other giveaways. We're going to be giving away another one of these today. It seems to be the trend on this channel. I know a lot of people like deck boxes. It gives them a chance to get something in. I mean, they're gem. We will have other goodies coming up, I assure you of this. It's just, this is the very early stages. We're still kind of getting stuff in, getting stuff ready here. So if you want to walk away with that, leave a comment down below. Tell me what other decks you want to see. I'm pulled Watts out today because that was highly requested. So what in the world does this deck do? Of course, like the video, comment down below. And if you won yesterday's giveaway, reach out to me on social media so I can get this shipped to you. All right, let's dig on into what in the world is this deck? All right, I think it's very appropriate that we're filming this deck profile while there's a storm outside right now, so you can really get the feel for the Watt lock out here. So what in the world is Watts? Well, this is a fantastic concept that says no to your opponent, as does the thunder that is outside. Insert thunderclap here. But anyway, this entire deck is going to be some of the most table flipping, wrench inducing. I don't want to play this game simulator, and we got some brand new fantastic cards to make your life even better. You all remember Watt Draft, right? This thing can attack your opponent directly. If it inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, your opponent can't activate any cards or effects till the end of this turn, so you just shut off your opponent. Well, that's great. We also got the Wattuna here. You can only use the first and the third effects of this card's name once per turn. So if this monster inflicts battle damage to, or inflicts any damage to your opponent at the end of the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. So if your Watt monster attacks, congratulations, you have the giraffe attack directly. Congratulations, now the tuna can come on down. This thing can attack directly, and when it inflicts damage to your opponent by a direct attack, you contribute it and one other non-tuner from your hand or face up on the field to special summon a Watt Synchro monster from your extra deck whose levels equal the tributed monster's level. So we got a 4 and a 4 here. So what in the world do we step on into? We can make the Wattosaurus here. See, the Thunder knows. We have a Watt tuner plus 1 non-tuner Thunder monsters. You only use the second effects of this card's name once per turn, so this can attack directly, inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack. Shuffle 1 Watt tuner monster from your graveyard and 1 face-up Thunder non-tuner you control into the deck. If you do special summon a Watt Synchro monster from your extra deck, except for the Wattosaurus. Okay, so we go ahead and we can make... See, secondary synchro. It knows. It knows. We have the Watt Chimera here. So 1 Watt tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner thunders can attack your opponent directly, inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack. Place 1 random card from your opponent's hand on the top of the deck. Yeah, that actually soft locks their deck, so now they can't actually get the chance to stack up. And then the Watt Hydra here. 1 Watt tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner can attack your opponent directly, inflicts damage to your opponent. You choose 1 card from your opponent's deck and you remove it from play and add that card to your hand. Oh, whoa, hold on. This is amazing. Choose 1 card. Oh, it's from your deck. And remove it from play and add that card to your hand during your second standby phase. It's really, really slow, but like, that's fine. And then, of course, we get the Watt Kingdom here. This, I honestly think this should have been a field spell, but this is really cool. So you can activate the second effect of this card's name once per turn. You both can activate the effects of any of their monsters in the same column as and/or your Watt monsters that activate when they are normal or special summon. You can target 1 Watt monster you control. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Thunder monsters. Special summon a Watt monster with a different name from your deck and then lose life points equal to that summon monster's attack. Sure, on my way. This is Easyville here for extensions. And then this is the piece that brings it all together. This is the other floodgate that allows this deck to do its thing. Neither player can declare attacks except with Synchro monsters. You can use the effect or following effects of Synchro Zone once per turn. See? The Thunder knows. If a non-tuner Synchro monsters is sent to your graveyard except during damage step, and target 1 of those monsters, special summon it. If you do, it is treated as a tuner. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this face card to the graveyard, meaning after this effect resolves, Synchro summon using monsters you control. Technically, you can set up during your opponent's turn. I believe you can, yeah, on special summon you can increase, send to the graveyard, target 1. And you're not really going to be using that secondary effect, you're just using it as a floodgate. So what in the world are we doing here with this deck? So after all was said and done, you're attacking directly with these, and then you're hiding behind Messenger Apiece / Synchro Zone. That's all it really is. The Watt Train. Add Watt cards with different names from your deck to your hand, except for Watt Train, up to the number of Thunder monsters you control with different names. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to your banish this card from your graveyard. So summon as many Watts as possible with different names from your hand. That's hilarious. We do have a searcher. Hello, Thunder Seahorse and Watt Cobra. So we have 2 copies of Gameciel. Some of the biggest things that this deck is going to be doing is you're going to be placing things on top of your opponent's resources or taking away their monsters. You do have to remember that you have to focus on things like the Kaijus in order to out those slightly more annoying monsters. And having spot removal assets like this, I think, are a particularly good thing. We have 1 copy of Jizukuru, triple copies of the Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju. This is kind of relevant because it is Thunder, and like the off chance that it actually, does come up. We also have triple copies of the Space Rock, 1 copy of the Thunder Seahorse. Gotta love the fact you can add any of your light thunder monsters. You don't particularly want to load down on too many of these, but it is pretty good. And then, of course, we have triple copies of the Watt Cobra, triple copies of Watt Giraffe. Remember, Cobra here, when it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can add a Watt monster from your deck to your hand. So this is going to be a universal searcher, which will actually allow you to tap into the Tuna here for extra extensions. We have 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumbers for board clearing here. Triple copies of Messenger Apiece for the, you gotta kind of slow roll it. We also have triple copies of Pot of Extravagance here for the LOL. We also have 2 copies of Small World, 2 copies of the Talents, 2 copies of Ultimate Slayer. Somebody might be like, why do you need to focus on Ultimate Slayer in here? You do need ways to clean up cards that the opponent might be setting up on the field. Generic spot removal assets typically will be things that you do need to explore. Even though it might not seem like it's all that good, I really do think that you need cleanup just to be able to do your thing. I still think the Watt Kingdom was an insane card. I don't know why they made this card, but you can set up your columns and laugh at your opponent as they can't actually play the game. This card is actually inherently insane. We also have 2 copies of the Choo Choo Train, and then, of course, 2 copies of Synchro Zone. Then we actually played 2 copies of Summoner here. I gotta love the fact that discard 1 revive. We have 2 copies of the Meteorologic Alligator, 2 copies of Watt Hydra, 2 copies of Watt Chimera, triple copies of the Wattosaurus, 2 copies of Malong here, and then we have 2 copies of Ints here. Wrapping up a particularly interesting deck. Now remember, most of this is test phasing here. If you're expecting Watts to be an absolutely crazy tier 1 deck, no. That's not what you're going to get. You at least have something cool in the potential aisle here that can do something. And any sort of semi-meta relevance, even if it's in the bottom of tier 2, is, I think, particularly decent in my personal opinion. So, what do you think about today's goodies? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.